Hello and welcome to 97.9 Unity Radio, the best sports talk show in all of Worcester, in all of Massachusetts, in all of Vermont, in all of New Hampshire, Maine, Rhode Island, Delaware, New York. Yes, you get the best of the best. And I'm your host, Steve Cully, the best radio, podcast, game show. It doesn't matter. The best host in the universe. Here to talk some sports with you. A lot going on with NFL training camps opening. Finally, everyone's getting geared up for the NFL season. And we also have college football to look forward to. So, we're going to start with the NFL, which just signed a massive deal with the NFL Network. Now, we're not sure how all of this is going to work, but the NFL is basically getting all the media entities of the NFL Network, Red Zone, fantasy football, and most importantly, betting. ESPN has lost a lot of viewers since 2011. 2011, ESPN had 100 million, was in 100 million homes. As of 2024, ESPN is only in 64 homes. The reason being for that is people cutting the cord, especially millennials who are smart, realize that cable and satellite is just way too expensive. And it's better to go a la carte and, go with a Netflix, go with Amazon, go with Hulu. And it still adds up, but it doesn't come to the $250 to $300 that it can be for cable and internet, for Comcast or whoever your provider is, Spectrum. So what ESPN is going to do is they're going to take the NFL Network, who initially, when they came out in 2003, they tried to be a competitor to ESPN, but they failed miserably. Absolutely miserably. They didn't come close to it. So it's funny, just because the NFL is a $1 billion industry, instead of investing into the NFL Network, in some of their, shows, the studio shows and everything, they kind of cut from it. I remember it was 2 years ago, we were watching the Christmas Eve NFL Network game. It was the Patriots versus the Broncos. The only reason I remember is because Bailey Zappi was the quarterback for the Patriots. And I believe Russell Wilson, it was one of his last starts for the Broncos. And the NFL Network, the pregame show was just embarrassing. It was an absolute disaster. The two hosts were terrible. And ESPN will be able to spruce that up. ESPN will bring better production qualities to the NFL Network shows. ESPN will bring their personalities on the NFL Network shows. It's just going to be more expensive. That's the caveat here. You're looking at ESPN is you can get it straight through the app if you want, and it's going to be $30 a month. But that gets you, the NFL. It's going to be 7 added games from the NFL, because the NFL Network And ESPN already has Monday Night Football, which is their flagship. So people in the industry are concerned, obviously, because of ESPN has kind of lost its luster over the years. And part of the reason is its objectivity. And that's what worries people. You know, if the NFL is getting equity in ESPN, I believe it's 10%. So if they're partners / owners, part owners of ESPN, ESPN is not going to slander the NFL. So that's what makes it interesting, is how is ESPN going to keep perspective and objectivity when reporting on the NFL? And then the other issue is you have CBS, you have Fox, you have Amazon Prime, you have Peacock, also partners and have NFL games. Their concern is ESPN is going to get the best games because obviously the NFL is partnering with them. So they're going to get the marquee matchups, and CBS, Fox, Peacock, Amazon Prime are not going to get the best games. So it's big announcement. It's going to be a while before the contract is officially approved. I believe they said it was 9 months, but in so facto, huge news that this happened. I was surprised by it, but after seeing the performance of the NFL Network, how they do their pregame shows, how they cover games, ESPN will be a huge upgrade to that. So that was the big news that happened a couple days ago. And we're going to look into some of the training camps that have happened, and starting with the Tennessee Titans. Brian Callahan is, the new coach, very optimistic. He had the first quarterback taken in Cam Ward, which brings a lot of energy, ton of excitement to the coaches, to the fan base, and it's an opportunity for them to get out of the bottom. The roster still needs work. They have one top 10 player, as they rank the NFL players, defensive tackle Jeffrey Simmons. And, they rank all 11 positions. No other player was close other than one of their guards, Peter Skinnerowski, was number 14 among guards and centers. They have spent $100 million in 2 recent first-round picks in the offensive line, but the question really is, what are the expectations given the roster challenges? Because, they traded one of their top wide receivers to Houston. There's not a ton around Cam Ward. And they claim they're not really big in expectations. They want to see growth. They want to see competition. They want to see discipline. They want to see guys come together as a team. Are we getting better? So the offense has kind of sputtered early on. Cam Ward struggled, and Callahan was not in the best of moods, and he went after his offense, as any good coach would. He needs to win games, and it's a struggle. The offensive line is a start. They really need to reduce penalties and turnovers, and that's what I was taught as a player and a coach a long time ago when I played for Randy Edsall. Coach Edsall, his rules were for winning games were field position, play tough defense, don't turn the ball over, score in the red zone, control the clock, time of possession, and run the ball. And that's what we lived by, and we won because of it. Callahan knows that a young quarterback can really galvanize a team and elevate the play around them. You've seen it happen with Joe Burrow. You've seen it happen with what's his face, Josh Allen. So Jaden Daniels. So you know that if you get a good rookie quarterback, that can make a huge difference. But you don't want to put it all on their head. You look at Caleb Williams, and last year they put it all on him, and you know he did well, but he didn't win like Jaden Daniels did. Jaden Daniels had a ton of success as a quarterback of the Redskins. I'm not going to say the Commanders, sorry. So during camp where ESPN was there, Cam Ward was he was off. He has some creativity. He can throw on the move. He throws a beautiful deep ball. He's starting to build a rapport with receiver Calvin Ridley. And then the second day he was there, the offense was just a shit show. And it was really because they did some third down work, and it was a blitz period. And it showed. Cam Ward struggled against the blitz. But it's good that they're doing it early on. So you're talking about day 3 or day 4 into camp, and they're already putting blitzes in, and they're already throwing that at them. So I've always believed that's the way to go for an offense altogether and for a quarterback. Install as much as possible early on. Throw it all in. Get it in. And then you cut it down as camp goes on and as the season goes on. Because as my old offensive coordinator used to say, we can't be all things to all people. So the good thing is Cam Ward is showing that he is a team leader, and that leadership, having that leadership quality, is huge because that's something you can't be taught. I've had this debate with several people. Leadership, can it be taught? And many people say that it can't be taught, but if you have some of the qualities, it can be improved. Ward has done a really good job rallying the rookies to arrive early and get out on the field early to start practicing. He has gone with head coach Callahan early or late to go over the scripts for the next day, scripts of the plays they're going to run. So, you know, Ward wanted to know the plays that were going in. So he had a good understanding so he could execute them. And he is working hard. I mean, that's all you can ask out of him. He's working hard. And Callahan has been very happy with his work ethic. Tyler Lockett also said the same thing. He said that he came to Tennessee because he wanted to play with Cam. He heard good things from veterans, and you can tell he's really good at extending plays. He has good pocket awareness and still knows the idea of the routes that everyone's running. Speaking of, you know, Ward going off script and having that ability to extend plays, Lockett has been one of the league's best at getting open in the scramble drill after playing with Russell Wilson for years. He calls it, you know, the second chance, but that's really what it is. If nothing's there, the quarterback has to extend the play, run around, and receivers, practice the scramble drill and find a way to get open. And when you have a quarterback who can extend plays and give you that opportunity, that will make a difference. That will make a difference. So Tennessee offensively have struggled. Cam Ward's working his butt off. I think things will come around. They're in the AFC South, which I think they can compete in for sure. And they have very good running backs between Tony, Pollard, and Spears. Pollard is, he came from Dallas. He's a big dude, and he's the feature back and one of their best players. Spears is a good complement to that. He didn't run the ball much last year. He had 30 catches. He needs to get probably up to 100 carries to split time with. Looking at the Ravens, they need to find the biggest thing with them. They need to find a way to be the same team in the postseason that they are in the freaking regular season. They roll through the regular season like nothing. They dominate teams. Then when they get to the playoffs, it's like they're a different team. It all goes out the window. So that's the struggle they have. I mean, it's not during the season. It's not training camp. Everything runs smoothly. It's January, February, the wheels come off. Example, last season, they were one of the best teams in the league at avoiding turnovers. They did not turn the ball over. They had 11 turnovers that they gave up in the regular season, third fewest in the NFL behind only Buffalo and San Diego. They did not turn the ball over once in their first round playoff victory over the Steelers. Then they go to Buffalo, and this was for the divisional round. And I remember watching it, and it was cold weather. The Bills fans were going wild, and it's tough to play on the road. And they turn it over 3 times and lose to Buffalo 27-25. And this is a Buffalo team. I remember they were very, very injured at the linebacker position. So they had deficiencies there, but they still managed to create turnovers. So this is not anything new. Over the past 5 years, the Ravens have turned the ball over 95 times in 84 games. That's the 4th lowest total in the league. But then you look at the 7 playoff games in the same span, they've turned it over 10 times. Only the Chiefs have more turnovers, but they have played 16 playoff games in that span. So, and what's also incredible is, again, the turnover margin, which is, how many times you turn it over on offense, how many turnovers you get and create defensively. Baltimore, their margin over the past 5 seasons is plus 15, which ranks 7th. That's very, very good. And then you look at the past 5 seasons for the postseason, they're minus 8, which is the worst. So again, I mean, they look great right now. The problem is 5 months away. They are one of the best teams in the league on paper. There just doesn't seem, there's no system issues offensively or defensively. It's more of execution, I would say. So they came up with an idea this offseason. All around the team facility are large screen TVs that in the past years would have shows on them, Sports Center, stuff like that. Of course, Sports Center. This year, the same TVs are showing practice tape, but not just any practice tape. The coaches pick out specific highlights from each day's practice and cut them up to fit into different categories, such as tackling, pursuit, ball assault, convoy. And they grade each player in each practice in each category and designate the day's winner in each. So if a player is stopping by the cafeteria to grab a bottle of Gatorade on the way to his meeting, he could look up and see his or one of his teammates' highlights from the previous day. And Harbaugh is creative. That's an interesting way to do that. As a coach, I would hate having to grade my players every practice. That's a lot of work, but they get paid a lot of money. So why not? They also, this has been huge. They brought in a couple secondary coaches. Former Colts head coach Chuck Pagano is there. Kansas City assistant Donald D'Alasso is there. And former Packers cornerback Jaire Alexander, who really has gotten practice going with his energy. And he intercepted Lamar Jackson. And Chuck Pagano he's just amazing, man. He beat cancer. He was a great head coach. And it's good to see that he's back. But for Baltimore, honestly, it's the biggest thing. It's nothing that they're going to do now. It's all going to be when January and February rolls around. That's when they have to turn it up. So Minnesota is basically looking at Jordan Addison's availability to start the season. They're bracing for probably a 3-game suspension. He pled no contest to a 2024 DUI charge. The team projects this basically based on other DUI offenses. Addison's prepared for whatever the NFL decides, but I mean, he has been a great receiver, and he wants to continue to be the best all-around receiver. Obviously, the number one spot is Justin Jefferson, 1,800 yards, 19 touchdowns through 2 seasons. Sorry. Justin Jefferson has been incredible. Addison has had 1,800 yards and 19 touchdowns in 2 seasons. So he believes he can continue to improve and have similar statistics, and they'll be similar to the Bengals with 2 really number one receivers. And he's also in a contract year, so he wants to perform. They use him all over the field. He can play in the slot. He can play outside. They can do anything with him. And the more you can do, the better. And I think that helps Minnesota. The question, obviously, is going to be J.J. McCarthy. When his health is going to allow him to play and take reps, and how good is he going to be? I still think Minnesota made a huge mistake letting Sam Darnold go. I think they should have kept him for sure. I think relying on a rookie coming off a serious injury who's not even ready yet is detrimental for sure. So basically, J.J. McCarthy he's had some good moments. He's had some good teaching moments. With his technique, his fundamentals, his progressions. He's had a lot of ups and downs. And that makes sense because he's coming off a tough injury. He hasn't got a lot of reps, but he's been doing okay. He's thrown the ball well over the middle. He's thrown a couple interceptions in 7-on-7, but he's got a good attitude. And Coach Kevin O'Connell's been happy that he is relentless about coming back. Shakes it off, and he keeps going. He's got good arm strength. He's working on his touch. He throws a really good fastball, but he's got to get a little bit better on some of those touch passes like a fade ball. They're trying to build on his momentum. And I still think that they're going to struggle in a tough NFC North without Sam Darnold. I don't know how far J.J. McCarthy's going to get them, even with a Justin Jefferson. So the other guy I love is Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones was a big pickup, and he runs hard. He is physical. So if they get that going to help protect JJ a little bit more, and with the defense they have, then you may see something. But in my opinion, Detroit, I think, is going to roll in the NFC North. Chicago, I don't think Caleb Williams is the guy. I don't think he's going to take them to the playoffs. It's going to be how the rest of the NFC shakes out to figure where the Vikings will be. So Philadelphia, Saquon Barkley was amazing as always. He had a very long run in practice. He caught passes out of the backfield. He scored several touchdowns and a 2-point conversion. And he lets the defense know about it and, mock them for how tired they look. And for me, as a former Giants fan, I go back to Hard Knocks. And I laugh because Joe Shane nonchalantly lets him go. Says, "Oh, Saquon, we're not going to re-sign you. You can test the free agent market." And Saquon's like, "Oh, no problem, boss." And he knew he would obviously find a home. But the Eagles are the Eagles. They're the defending champs. It was a blow to them when Kellen Moore left to take the job with the Saints. He was a very good offensive coordinator. They have a new one, Kevin Patullo. He'll be fine, and he will manage Barkley's workload smart. He won't, put it all on him. And obviously the Eagles with Jalen Hurts, he puts them on another level. And the NFC East, I think for sure they're going to repeat and, be the NFC East champions and have a run to possibly repeat as Super Bowl champions. I wanted to check out did we get them? Our New England Patriots. No, we didn't get to them just yet. So let's take a look. Tampa Bay. Baker Mayfield, rejuvenated. He is doing phenomenal. And again, he's a great story. Left for dead, literally was done and buried, came back and took over the Buccaneers job from Tom Brady and has performed admirably. He knew, when he signed in 2023, he was not most likely going to start, but they led him through injuries and a competition. He won. And Tampa has won the NFC South in each of Mayfield's first 2 years there, and 4 straight years overall, because they did with Brady. And they've kept things really stable around Mayfield, especially with the receivers. Liam Cohen was the offensive coordinator, and unfortunately now is the head coach for the Jaguars. Josh Grizzard was promoted to succeed Cohen. Another year, a new coordinator for Mayfield, but at least they're going to be systematically the same. I like this part. The run game, they're working with the line coaches. So the line coaches will be more the run game coordinators. Todd Bowles has done a great job as a head coach. He was doing well with the Jets. I thought he did the best that he could with the Jets, and unfortunately, he fizzled out. But with Godwin back as their receivers, as one of the receivers, Chris Godwin, he got his new 3-year contract. He's an absolute stud. They got Antoine Winfield. Defensively, he's a lockdown corner. So I think that he obviously makes a difference because of his size and speed. Running back Bucky Irvin. They also have Rashad White, and he's kind of a role play guy. But I like their run game. So it's going to be interesting to see. But I still think they're going to dominate the NFC North. They're going to dominate the NFC North. And then you look, the other thing that I saw that was funny, at a WNBA game, we got to give the WNBA some time. So this was the Golden State versus Atlanta Dream. Delbert Carver was arrested Saturday after he threw a sex toy on the court during the Golden State Atlanta Dream game in Georgia. That's something I would do. Carver, 23, faces counts of disorderly conduct, public indecency, indecent exposure, and criminal trespass. He was booked and released on bond. The WNBA is just they're very frustrated because they feel they're not getting enough security. There's been stalkers. There's been, fans yelling inappropriate things and objects thrown on the court or in the seating area. It's a huge safety risk for players, officials, and fans. The WNBA has a lot of security, and the players are calling them out. They're like, "Hello, security, where are you?" And it's just not happening. It's just not happening. I think they're doing the best they can, but there's always going to be fans out there who just do what they do, and they're one of them. So I apologize for that, but that's just reality. So the Patriots right now, wide receiver is the position where we're seeing the biggest battle. We got Drake May. Drake May needs pieces around him to make him successful. He's not Tom Brady. He can't do it on his own with mid-level receivers. He needs some stars. So Stephon Diggs is there. He's been doing well. Keyshawn Boot has been doing well. Demario Douglas, and then 9-year veteran Kendrick Bourne. 2025 third-round pick Kyle Williams. So it's notable. Veteran Mac Hollins, he signed a 2-year, $8.4 million deal in March, returned to practice last week after opening camp on the PUP list. He worked alongside Diggs and Douglas, slicing into some of Boots' reps. So the 2024 draft picks, Jalen Polk, Javon Baker in the 4th round, along with undrafted free agent standout Efton Chisholm the third, are among those who are making plays. They will likely have 6, maybe 7 wide receivers on the initial roster. So something has to give. They're not going to be able to keep all those. It's going to depend who can compete on special teams and who stands out the most. I think it's obviously going to be Stephon Diggs for sure. I think it's going to be Mac Hollins, who they paid. They're going to owe. And then between Boot and Demario Douglas, and then you got the 3rd-round pick Kyle Williams. I think those are going to be the guys. So we'll see what happens there. I think it's great for Drake May. He'll have some people to throw to, and that's always important because you can't do it yourself. You cannot do it yourself. And that's what we found out, when everyone hammers Bryce Young at Carolina. He just doesn't have a lot around him. So I was looking at the NBA because there was some news there in free agency. San Antonio Spurs star De'Aaron Fox agreed to a 4-year, $229 million maximum contract deal with the franchise. The max deal has no player option for the final year, but this is huge for them. They navigated this and got the deal done. That was hard. That was great for them. They drafted guard Dylan Harper with the number 2 pick in June's draft. So they have a talented backcourt with Fox, Harper, and Stephon Castle. And then the other deal that I saw, obviously, Luka signed his extension with the Lakers. That was important. So now you got Luka and you got LeBron together, and that's going to bring expectations. Donic's extension, it was a little strange because he didn't go for the max. He took 3 years. 3 years, $165 million. And this was huge for the Lakers. And I think that they are going to be with a full season with Luka and LeBron, I think they'll be able to put it together and do some damage in the West. And then obviously you have Bronny James, who is coming along. We'll see what happens with him for week 2 or for the second season. The news in the college football world, Donald Trump is trying to sign an executive order to regulate spending for NIL and preserve the integrity of women's sports. That's all fine and good. An executive order is not a law. It's basically what they want you to do, but there's no way to regulate it. So if teams violate it, the consequences is going to be your college won't get federal funding. That's going to be the consequence. If you don't follow his executive order, federal funding will get cut to your university. And if you're a private university, you don't really care. So the ACC right now, Clemson should be the team. Last year, it was SMU. Miami is really in the hunt. Mario Cristobal has got to perform. He's had some good seasons, but he's got to get it done. So I think it's going to be Clemson, and I think it's going to be SMU again, and the U for the ACC. The SEC, Georgia. The big thing to consider is Texas again. LSU has to perform. Brian Kelly has won 9 games. And he's had great seasons, but he hasn't met his expectations. He leaves Notre Dame. He comes to LSU, and the fans don't want development. They don't want to wait. They want their teams to win now. And that's why the transfer portal has been so important. And that's why, even teams like North Carolina, Bill Belichick, he took a transfer, one of our defensive tackles from UConn. These college teams, their staffs are equipped like NFL front offices almost, with a general manager, with a recruiting department for transfers, recruiting for high school players. So, because position coaches, it's very difficult for them to manage everything. Mario Cristobal, again, Miami has not won a conference title since they won the national championship, I believe, in 01. It was 01 or 02 they won it. They did have Cam Ward, who was a great transfer, but they have to get it going. LSU, they won the national title in 2019. Ed Orgeron was fired through the 2020 season. Brian Kelly comes in. He's kind of struggled to get consistency from the quarterback position since Joe Burrow left. He did get LSU to the championship, in his first season when they had Jaden Daniels in 2023, but they have not reached the college football playoffs or finished inside the AP top 10 under his leadership. So even though he's winning 9 and 10 games, winning the SEC championship in 2023, not reaching the college football playoffs. That is unacceptable for what he's being paid. He's got to get it going. He needs to win an SEC title this year. And going through Georgia, Alabama, I think it'll be difficult. Texas, Oklahoma, and Oklahoma's another team. Brett Venables came over, and I thought he was a great hire. He did not have a great year last year. He was 6-7 overall, 2-6 in SEC play. They did win the conference title in 2020. The Sooners, I mean, their impatience is inevitable. The program is one of the sport's historic heavyweights. They have 7 national championships and 50 conference titles, including a stretch of 14 straight that will likely never be matched. And most recently, Oklahoma won 6 consecutive Big 12 championships from 2015 to 2020 before they went to the SEC. They've been to the college football playoffs 4 times in that span. But it was shocking when Lincoln Riley decided to exit and go to USC. That was shocking. And then Venables comes in and, 2 6-7 seasons. It's the program's lowest win total since it had 3 consecutive losing seasons under coach John Blake in the mid-90s. So Sooners fans are understandably frustrated and restless. Venables waited longer than most top-rated coordinators to take a head coaching job, and that's true. He was the defensive coordinator with Auburn. I thought he was phenomenal. And he passed on a lot of head coaching opportunities to stay with them. So this is a big year. Oklahoma and Texas came over to the SEC. That was expected to solidify the SEC's dominance. The SEC's dominant regardless of Texas and Oklahoma. They got enough talent. They got enough talent from the schools that are already there. Texas Tech is on the list. Joey McGuire, 23-16 overall in 4 seasons. 8-5 last year, 6-3 in the Big 12, which is not as good as it once was. Texas Tech does not have anything historical to match the other teams that we've talked about. The Red Raiders, they haven't won a league title in 31 years. So, but they put a ton of money into this program. So they got donations, and it proved because the women's softball team won the College World Series due to Stanford transfer Nigeri Candy, who became softball's first $1 million player. She was a top high school. She was a top high school player, and all the coaches understand the pressure to win there. With the money that's coming in, finally, you can't complain. And then, Billy Napier at Florida, he's just been a disaster. 19-19 overall, 8-5 last year, 4-4 in SEC play. That's not going to get it done. That's not going to get it done. Ole Miss has been a powerhouse. Ole Miss has been a powerhouse. They had a great season last year. But, your Florida, you're playing against Georgia and Alabama and Texas and Oklahoma. Man, it's tough to come out of those conference games, and they're playing more conference games. The SEC is, I believe, they went to it's 8 or 9 conference. Yeah, so they play 8 conference games, which is more than most schools do. The other guy that really has to come through is Lincoln Riley. There has been so much buzz around USC the last couple of years. And when they got Lincoln Riley after Pete Carroll left, it was the heist of the century when they got Lincoln Riley out of Oklahoma. And it just hasn't turned out the way that everyone hoped. 7-6, 4-5 in Big Ten play. They were unranked. They haven't won a conference title since 2017. And it was really from 2002 to 2008, USC and Florida were college football's most dominant teams, combining for 4 national championships. Well, that's when Reggie Bush and Matt Leinart were there. Coach Pete Carroll's Trojans never finished outside of the top 4 in any of those seasons. He went 82-9 during that span. That's unbelievable. Then they started losing, and Carroll left for the NFL. They've had some great stretches, but the coaching hires haven't been the best. Lane Kiffin obviously struggled. Steve Sarkisian struggled, but I'm glad that he's back on track, at least with Texas. And, in the conference they're in now, the Big Ten, that's going to make things interesting. So we'll see what happens. And then, James Franklin at Penn State, my God, they were 13-3. It's Ohio State and Michigan they can't beat. They were college football playoff semifinalists, and they ranked 5th. They were ranked 5th in the final AP poll. They did make the conference. They did make the college football playoffs. They did not win the conference. Franklin really has to win it all this year. I mean, that's what the fans are banking on. That's what the expectations are. They have a great quarterback returning in Drew Aller. They have the nation's best running back tandem in Singleton and Katron Allen, and they have a tremendous defense. So the pieces are in place for them to have success. But Franklin is 4-20 against teams ranked in the top 10. The coach that really is he's on the hot seat, and that's Mike Norvell from Florida State. They go undefeated and do not make the college football playoffs because Jordan Travis got injured in 2023. Last year, they went 2-10. 2-10. It was the first 10-loss season ever. And again, it goes back to why Jimbo Fisher left. They didn't put money into the program. Norville got money. He got money into the program through donations and whatnot. He's got great coordinators. He's got Gus Malzahn on offense, Tony White on defense. They're recruiting well in state for high school players, and they're bringing in some good transfers. Tommy Castellanos is a BC guy who's coming in at quarterback. So Norville really, he was on the list to replace Nick Saban. I mean, he's a good coach. They just struggled last year, but I think they'll put it together. So, all right. I just have to mention Luther James Insurance, owned and operated by James Whitfield. He has mastered the art of financial services. It's more than a career, it's a passion. Over the last 3 years, he has dedicated himself to helping law enforcement with their financial planning. He also offers insurance services, mainly life insurance and retirement planning, because fear of the unknown is real. Sean Rabinowitz, Procyon Partners, they specialize in employee benefits, retirement planning, wealth management. He's a proud supporter of our podcast network and everything we do. We love Sean, and we're grateful for his contributions. And you can get a free quote from them at procyonpartners.net. Green Street Trust International, owned and operated by Rennell Jump. They specialize in tax plans for businesses large and small. They will save you money or give you a big fat return. To schedule your free strategic tax planning session today, go to www.greenstreettrust.com. And we also have Pete Finch and the Finch Law Firm out of Bridgeport, Connecticut. If you suffered any type of personal injury, a slip and fall, a car accident, your mother-in-law ran you over with her car, your wife decided to stab you, the Finch firm is for you. Pete has won legal battles all over the state of Connecticut. He will go to war for you. He's not afraid of insurance companies. He will get every dollar that you deserve in compensation. Remember, in a pinch, call Finch. And that's thefinchfirm.com. Dynamic Human Performance, owned and operated by Andre Dixon, trains boys and girls of all ages, of all sports in Hartford, Connecticut, 5,000 square foot, state-of-the-art facility. He has a boot camp program every day, 6 a.m. You want to get in shape, you go to Andre. He has an athletic development program, boys and girls, all ages, all sports. They pick the one of their choice. He trains them from the ground up to make them the best that they can possibly be in their sport of choice. And Andre has sent boys and girls to college on scholarship for all different types of sports. Julia, if you want to work with Andre, it's www.dynamichumanperformance.com. Julius Williams runs the Trench Mob down in Decatur, Georgia. They train offensive and defensive linemen. They have the best group in the country. They compete in 5-versus-5 tournaments, which is offense versus defensive linemen. They also go to college football camps together as a group. And proudly, I can say the Trench Mob, every camp they attended, a member of the Trench Mob was offered a scholarship. That's an incredible accomplishment. Incredible. Julius also has a virtual program where he can work with you with whatever state you're in. He puts together weightlifting, drill work, running, plyometrics, everything for you. And he will be on the phone with you. He will do video calls with you every step of the way to make sure that you're doing everything properly. You're also allowed to go to camps and tournaments as a Trench Mob member. Julius has sent kids to Florida, Florida State, Miami, Tennessee, Clemson, Georgia, Alabama, just to name a few. The best of the best. If you're an offensive or defensive lineman and you want to be coached by the best, if you want a chance to be recruited and play Division I football, work with Julius effing Williams. www.battleofthetrenches.com. Ned Von Young owned and operated the Fresh Fold Laundry Company in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. It's a high-end laundry service. They offer pickup, 20-mile radius. You schedule online. You put your clothes out. They come, pick them up, bring them back, wash, dry, fold them. Lightning speed record. It's packaged up right for you. There's no going in with coins, picking up detergent and waiting. It's all done for you. It saves you time and money. They have an online subscription model, weekly or biweekly, and they also have deals for college students. So if you're going back to college, you want clean clothes, work with Andre or work with Nedvon. Nedvon is the man. Fresh Fold Laundry Co. So the website to get more information and to sign up for a subscription service or to sign up just to have your laundry done, go to freshfold-laundry.com. And those are all my UConn brothers. We're hoping to have a good season this year. And we have the ability to dominate. I know we're scheduled, according to ESPN, 7 wins or above. We're going to win 10 games or go undefeated. We have the talent to do so, and we better. We better. And I'm also going to mention the death of Hulk Hogan. Again, I am mourning him. He was my hero, my idol. I know he said things and did things that were bad and racist. And like I said, everyone is flawed. Everyone makes mistakes. And I know he was remorseful. I know he didn't apologize the best way, but he was remorseful. When he was booed on television the last time, I mean, it really hurt him. And judge him on the totality of the man's life, not just the last 10 years, which were devastating. But his career, what he did for the wrestling business, what he did for children, that means something. You can't just write that off because of the bad. And that's all I'm saying. So I'm Steve Cully. Remember, this is Moneyline. When life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Take 2 oranges, throw them right back